Hi, my name is Melissa van Dijk, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use your Retinol, Retinal, Active Retinoid or Adapalene with Roche Posay Cicaplast Baume. Now when picking one of the treatments, just go with one of them because they are all forms of vitamin A and have similar benefits. So it doesn't matter if you want to use such a treatment to treat your acne or if you want to use it to reduce your fine lines and wrinkles. Just go with one of them. And then you would ideally use it in your evening skincare routine because those treatments are sensitive to light and potentially also have a sensitivity towards heat. And so to make sure that you get most out of it, use it in the evening. Nonetheless, I want to share with you at first an example morning and evening skincare routine with a little frequency guide, and then we are heading into the entire application. So when it comes to the morning skincare routine, I want to keep it simple so that you understand what's important to do in the morning. And this is first of all properly washing your face using a cleanser that's suitable for your skin type to remove any excess oil, dirt and sweat from the skin, or even any last traces from your Retinol and or Cicaplast Baume. So in general, make sure to properly wash your face before moving on to the next step. Then after that, you can use your Cicaplast Baume in the morning as well, and then leave it as it is. Or if you have sun exposure during daytime, well then the last step would be your sunscreen. Now if you find that the combination of your Cicaplast Baume and a sunscreen is a bit too much, leave out your Cicaplast Baume, but sunscreen is important if you have sun exposure because you want to make sure that you can properly protect the skin from the damaging UV rays. Not only because of that, but at the same time because your skin gets more sensitive as you're working with retinol or retinoid treatment in the evening, as it helps to speed up the cell turnover. So nonetheless, sunscreen during daytime is really the key, and I recommend going with a mineral sunscreen so that it causes less sensitivity and that it's suitable for everyone who is now watching this video. Then when it comes to your evening skincare routine, what you really have to keep in mind is to properly wash your face. I cannot stress this enough. This can already solve so many problems in the very beginning. So if you have just worn a very lightweight sunscreen and or makeup that you can properly get off with your regular cleanser, go ahead and do so. Just make sure that it's a non-exfoliating acid cleanser and still suitable for your skin type. However, if you have used a mineral sunscreen and or maybe wore stubborn makeup, then work with an oil or balm cleanser so that you can properly take it off. You can use such a cleanser on its own, that's completely fine. And after that, it's going to leave a protective layer afterwards, which can not only be very hydrating on the skin, but also protective when working with such a treatment in the evening. Nonetheless, if you do not like that protective layer, as it sometimes can feel a bit smeary, then you can also do a double cleanse and then follow with your regular non-exfoliating acid cleanser afterwards. If you want to see how you can do a double cleanse, I have a video for you in the top right corner. So once you're done with washing your face, you have rinsed off the cleanser, make sure that you're going to pad off the excess water from the skin surface. And then you have two options. Either move immediately onto your treatment or wait 5 to 10 minutes in between. So this helps that the skin is going to dry a bit further, and then when working with your treatment afterwards, it's going to cause less sensitivity since it's going to absorb much slower into the skin. So either apply it to damp skin or to dry skin. This is basically the summary. Try out both methods, see what's going to work best for you. And then once you're going to apply your treatment to the skin, well, make sure that you can apply it evenly all over. And then the last step is going to be your Cicaplast Baume. Now between your retinol or retinoid as well as your Cicaplast Baume, wait 2 to 3 minutes in between. So basically wait for your treatment to fully absorb into the skin before moving on to the next step. And so with the treatments that I have picked right here, it would be a great combination when looking into the Cicaplast Baume if you have normal to dry skin, because this way you can really enjoy the feeling. It feels hydrating, protective, but still at the same time not too heavy or greasy. But if you have an oilier skin type, you may find that this is too much. So in that sense, it's completely fine to leave out your Cicaplast Baume, so skip it and then just use your retinoid treatment on its own, or exchange it to a lighter moisturizer, or for example, go with the Cicaplast gel instead. So you have different options on how you can work with it, but I want to keep my main focus on this specific evening skincare routine. And so when it comes to the frequency, with the treatments that I have picked, they are all in a low strength, so this should be well tolerated. In general, you should be fine to use such a treatment every other day, and then pretty much like immediately or quite quickly move up to a daily application, and it shouldn't cause major issues. However, depending on the formulation and the strength that you have picked, the more likely sensitivity can occur, especially in the beginning, because your skin hasn't adjusted to it. So in that sense, the frequency would be start off by using it 2 to 3 times per week. After a few weeks, if you feel like your skin is ready, move up to every other day, and then after that daily if tolerated. So you have the frequency guide below so that you can always check it out again in your own time. And so this would sum up the entire evening skincare routine. So if you want to go over it in your own time, plus you want to know more about a more in-depth sunscreen guide, maybe even what products I have picked, or even the general skincare tips guide, I have all that information for you prepared in the PowerPoint, which if you like to check it out, you will find it in the description box down below. But now I want to keep my main focus towards the application, going with the evening skincare routine that I've just presented to you. And I have the setup behind me. Now I want to get started with the first step, which is the cleansing step, until the end, which is the application of the Cicaplast Baume. And I want to share with you the entire application so that you can see the full routine. The cleansing step is the most important step, so make sure that you always are going to properly wash your face. So usually I like to go with regular non-exfoliating acid cleansers, but this time I've switched out so that you can see how you can work with an oil or balm cleanser as well, since the application is going to be a bit different. So I have 2 examples right here, and I'm going to go with Hada Labo's cleansing oil, and this is just one example. If you have a different one, you can exchange it. Usually with an oil or balm cleanser, it is recommended to apply to dry skin. So if you have worn sunscreen and or makeup throughout the day, you want to take it off, you would apply your oil or balm cleanser on top of your sunscreen and or makeup to dry skin, and then gently massage it all over to properly break it down, and then you would rinse it off with water. And so this is what I'm going to do. But when doing the the removal above the sink instead of in the shower, then I always like to work with a soft, clean microfiber washcloth, which I'm going to wet, then squeeze it out so that it's still damp. And this can help me to properly remove any last traces of my cleanser, sunscreen and or makeup, so that I'm making sure that everything comes properly off the skin. If you should work with a regular cleanser, it usually emphasizes that you should apply that cleanser to wet skin, so this is where the application is going to change, but always check on the back of the packaging on how you would need to use your cleanser. And when using water, if you can, use lukewarm water to warm water. So let's go ahead and get started. So now go ahead and take a clean towel and gently pat all over to remove the excess water from the skin surface. So once you're done with your cleansing step, as I already mentioned earlier, now you can immediately move on to your treatment or wait 5 to 10 minutes in between. Now when it comes to the treatment, just choose one of them, and as an example I'm going to go with the ordinary Retinol. Now, when it comes to the amount of product that you're going to use, if you have a Retinol or Retinoid in where you have like a dropper, go with about 4 to 6 drops for your face and neck. If you should have one with a pump, you can go with about 1 to 2 pumps, but in general, since sometimes the pump can change, go with about a pea size to a bean size amount, which also applies to if you have a gel or cream at home, so that you're making sure that you can apply an even and thin layer all over your face and neck. And when doing the application, make sure that you're not going to apply it onto your eyelids. Be careful on the corners of your eyes, corners of your nose, as well as your lip. Like, do not get it on the lip or even close to the corners. When it comes to the eye contour, it primarily depends on your overall tolerance as well as the strength that you have picked. You can use it on the eye contour, but I recommend being careful. If sensitivity occurs, avoid that area or use it less often. So I went with 4 drops. You can dispense it in the palm of your hand, fingertips, or immediately apply it to your face and then gently blend all over. So once you have applied it all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And now make sure that you give it enough time, depending on the formulation that you have, that it can absorb into the skin before applying your Cicaplast Baume on top of it. Because if you're not going to wait long enough, then it may feel or layer uncomfortably. And so you are trying to avoid this. So I'm now going to go fast forward so that I can immediately share with you the application of your Cicaplast Baume. And so when moving on to your Cicaplast Baume, use about a pea size to a bean size amount and apply it evenly all over, just again making sure to avoid your eyelids, not getting it into your eyes, not getting it into your mouth. So about that much, more or less. This can be a bit adjusted, but in general do not overdo it, otherwise it may feel uncomfortable, so that it starts to feel too heavy or greasy on the skin. So, and once you have applied it all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And then there you have the last step of your evening skincare routine when working with your Retinol, Retinal, Active Retinoid or Adapalene and your Cicaplast Baume. So it does layer well, but of course if you have an oilier skin type, this may not be the best combination for you, as it can feel quite heavy or greasy on the skin. And so this is what I wanted to share with you. I do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did so, please don't forget to give the thumbs up as well as share it. And if you now want to learn more about skincare, I'm going to leave some of the videos at the end of this video. Otherwise, feel free and check out my YouTube channel. And I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye.